Hello, everyone. It's your girl Angie, and I am back with another wonderful podcast interview. So you all know I love the internet streets. I am always looking and keep my eye out for just wonderful talent or art or music that always resonate with me. And my friend here, Anita Chaves, this is not. When I saw her work, I was like, I must connect with her, and I have to have her on the podcast. Her beautiful artwork just takes me back to times when I went to New Mexico,
Oh,
and on the Pueblo, and I was really always been fascinated by Georgia O'Keeffe's work, and also just beautiful, beautiful big colors. And so I saw her artwork, and I just said she's taking me to a place in my life that I just fell in love with paint. And
that's
so, welcome, Anita. Welcome
thank
to the podcast.
you. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful to hear. And
Yeah.
to do, yeah, to reach out to people through the bold art and colors and movement, and that's beautiful to hear that that's it. Yeah, that has been something that you've connected with for a while now. That's great.
Well, thank you. Yes, I've always, we all have like these little desires. We want to be these things. One of the things I always wanted to be was a writer. So I'm currently writing and doing that through journaling, but
Okay.
also like painting. I've always loved paint. Whenever
Uh-huh.
I see, I'm not so much attracted to little tiny things, but tiny details, but I'm
Mhm,
more so attracted to things that are bold splashes of color, like what you have created behind you. Can you
mhm,
tell
mhm.
me a little bit about your journey as a painter? Is it something that has come like later in life, or is it something you've been doing since like infancy practically? Like where does
No,
it painting fit in?
I think this is what's so encouraging. I'm 63 years old. I've been painting for 2.5 years, and it just started from interviewing my granddaughter at a fireside chat, because she had been doing this one creative beast challenge for 30 days and came up with 30 short films every day for 30 days. And I interviewed her about it, and I heard like this presence in her voice. A 16-year-old, I heard like this energy, I heard this love and this passion and this desire, and like an actual calling. And I remember as I was talking to her, I thought, I want that. I
Mhm.
want what she has. And I wasn't thinking about painting. The biggest thing I did was going to an art class with a glass of wine. And everybody in the class just paints and whatever's doing at the front. So I said I should try painting. And so I bought a bunch of 78 records that were given to me at an estate sale. And I was like, what could I do with these records? And so I thought, I'll pour paint on it, just to see what
Mhm.
happens. And that's how my journey started. And that was when I lived in Louisville, Kentucky. 3 years ago, we moved there, and that's when my journey with art started. And it's turned into the biggest project I've done has been a 36 by 38 foot wall, Levee wall, that I did one of my paintings on. And so it's gone from a small 78 record to enormity, to almost a 4-story building. A 38 foot by 36 foot is almost a four-story building. So um, just like never give up, and never give up on whatever it is that you don't even know what it is sometimes. But when it comes
Mhm.
out and it's birds, you can't stop it. You just can't.
Yeah, I love that because I was looking at it. It was the Pueblo levy, and 'cause
Mhm.
I love Taos, and you mentioned you were working one day, and you said you had taken many treks up and down the walls to fill paint. So people, do not get this twisted. You have to go onto her Instagram page and look
Mhm.
at Anita Chavez
Yes.
art, and you will see her. This is a levee, so it's slanted. She has on what's the gear called? You kind of like have the
A harness.
bungee straps all on,
Bungee.
okay? All right. And she's scaling the wall like Spider Woman. And she's doing a thing. And like she said, it's like a building. Amazing. So tell us about that work. How did you go from painting these 75 records that you got from the estate sale
Yeah.
to now scaling the wall in the Pueblo levee? Like,
Yeah, that's quite the leap. It is. and my son kept challenging me, go bigger, go bigger. And so I got to a 48 by 48 foot, which is like a 4 by 4, 4 foot by 4 foot canvas. And then out of my mouth one day, I professed, my dream is to do a 4-story building. That's my dream, is to paint a 4-story building. And he said, well, start scaling up to a 4-story building, get larger and larger canvases. So I started doing that. And there was a call for artists online that I saw for the Pueblo levee wall. I've never been to a levee. I didn't know what the wall looked like until I got there. And I was just, oh my God, like, oh my God. And it's not bad from a distance. You're looking at it like, okay, until you get up and you're looking down at this Pueblo, this wet levee wall that just comes just almost straight down. And I remember taking a deep breath and I said, I'm going to have to learn how to use a harness and ropes and climb up and down this wall. And one of the artists, Tia, helped me, trained me the first day that I was there. And it wasn't even a question. Like, I've committed to this and this is what I have to do. And this is what I'm going to do. And there was a day I had up to 6 people at a time, 7 people at a time helping me. And then everybody left. And the day that I went there on a Sunday to paint that wall, I was all alone. And I said, okay, let's see what you've got. Let's see what you got, Anita Marie Chaves. Let's see what's in you. And you need to start painting this wall. And so I just got busy. I got started and I finished that wall in 11 days. I would go on the weekends and I would paint Saturday and Sunday. And it took me 11 days to finish painting the wall. I had to figure stuff out. I kept going up and down this wall. I was getting exhausted trying to refill my paint container. So then driving home, I was like, how can I make this work? How can I make it more feasible that I'm not having to get so tired up and down a wall? And so I just started figuring stuff out. I was like, okay, let's use some plastic bottles that I have in my studio and let's fill those up with paint. Let's get a tool belt. Let's put the tool belt around you and you just put those bottles around your tool belt. And then you just squirt the paint out of those squirt bottles. And it's an abstract that I painted. So nobody could go help me do square by square or paint by numbers kind of thing. It was all on me. And so it worked. And from that point on, the time just flew by. I was doing 4 squares on the grid each time. Boom, it was done. And I just took a deep breath and I was like, yes, you know, I did a levee wall, the first mural ever in my life. I've never painted a mural before. And man, you know what, man, that belief, that capacity to believe, it's something else. And Angie, let me tell you, like, it's like you believe one thing and then you're presented with something a little bit bigger. And then there's that belief like, well, okay, let's just do it. But in the process of doing, when I got to that one day when I said, let's see what you've got, it's all on me. There's nobody around me. There's nobody meant to take my journey but me. And I was just, and from that point on, my belief, when I figured it out, my belief grew. And I'm like, okay, I could do it. And it grew again, and it grew again. And each time I've taken on a new project, my belief has just been like, I can do it because I've done this before. I've been here before, like negative stuff in my head. Shut up. I've been here before. I know, like, get out of here, you know? and the capacity to believe is amazing. It's amazing what one can accomplish. But now I must say I don't struggle. Like, I still struggle, man. Like, I have this miraculous at this art show that opens in a week, and I'm still figuring out. I'm still like, okay, I've got to sell some art. Like, how am I going to do this? Like, just the way you scale the levee wall, Anita. Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get it on. What you got?
Yes, I know. And anyone just hear your story, I mean, automatically. Yesterday, I did a podcast with, it's called Reflection Designs, and she imports and designs like things from Africa, from the continent of Africa. And we're talking about home space, right? So which your paintings would like be in someone's home. And we were talking about things being conversation pieces. And so this is like something what we will be talking about like yesterday, having a painting. I purchased one of your paintings. I'm having a dinner party, right? We have a discussion. Well, how did you get this painting? Well, let me tell you about this artist.
Uh-huh.
Hasn't been painting 5 years, and she did a levee. And like we could have this conversation, and what are they going to do? They're going to want to go and be like, I want to see this artist. I want to
Like,
see what
really?
she's done,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, this like if
Yeah.
you really telling the truth, you telling the story, you making it up. No,
No.
no, no. This is not
Yeah.
a target painting. This is a painting that someone has created, and it has a story behind it.
Hmm.
And that is what your art, and that's how I was going to sell at your installation. I mean, once they hear the
Yeah.
story, who would not want to have one of your paintings hanging in their homes to tell the
I,
story?
you know, from where I came from, there was a point in my life where I was able to make decisions just like I did on the Levee wall that day. But it was back in a darker time of my life when I was diagnosed
Hmm.
with depression and
Hmm.
schizophrenia. And a sales lady came to my house to sell me a water softener. And I said, I can't buy it. I can't afford it. I'm on disability. She's like, you're on disability. I think I was 46 at the time. And she said, you're too young to be on disability. And I was like, well, whatever, I can't afford it. Thank you for coming over.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
when she left, I thought to myself, I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want to live three times a week going to the doctors. At the time, I was having to get electric, they're called ECTs or electroshock therapy, convulsive therapy. And I was on disability, TV blaring all day, going on a walk, yeah, here and there, but no real purpose. And I
Hmm.
remember one night I said, when that lady left, I said, I don't want to live like this anymore. And I was on 13 different pills, and I got all the pills and I threw them away, flushed them down the toilet. And I said, I didn't tell anyone for about a month because it was so severe. It was either shock treatment and get better, or throw all your stuff down the toilet and don't tell the doctor that you've done it and refuse any more shock treatments. And the thing is I didn't recognize it at the time, but that was the same capacity to believe. Like,
Hmm.
at some point you have to believe you could be different, you could do different, that you're scared, yes, you don't it's a scary move, it's something unknown, but at some point you've got to take that step. And that was another time that was the first time that I can remember that I've taken a step to increase my capacity to believe. And I'm not saying I've done it all on my own, but I am saying, like, if I don't have something bigger than myself to believe in,
Hmm.
I'll still be sitting on the sofa, watching TV, popping my pills and getting my disability check. And I'm not saying there's
Hmm.
anything wrong with that. All I'm saying, for me, I just I didn't want to live that way anymore. And
Hmm.
I think the same thing with my paintings. It's like, I want to get bigger. I want to get better. I want something out of this. I don't want to do paintings about the dark part of my life anymore. I want to express like the miraculous, the belief, the invisible that's visible, because that's
Hmm.
what each and every one of us is, that invisible that we think, the faith, the whatever it is that we talk about, we believe in, it's visible. It's through that belief that makes it visible, man. And it's
Hmm.
just it is miraculous. It is. And I'm gonna paint my 4-story building, and I'm gonna put one heck of a statement on it, because I
Hmm.
believe that is good. That's coming down my way, and I'm gonna just keep
Hmm.
speaking it until it happens.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love hearing your stories. It's very encouraging. Because I always, many people know the story about my writing, because I always
Mhm.
wanted to be a writer. And then when I got to college, I was like, okay, my major is going to be English. And then I turned my
Yeah.
first paper, and the teacher was like, you can't write. And he gave me an F on it. And I
Oh,
remember that day, like it was it. I changed my whole entire major, and I would never write anything publicly. And so I
oh,
just folded into journaling writing, right? So all these years, I've just been journaling for like the last 30 years. And it wasn't until COVID that I started like saying, okay, well, I have a product-based business. I said, well, if I'm going to describe candles and I'm going to describe soaps, like I have to make the person feel like, what does it feel like when they smell this that it reminds them of an Alaskan cabin? Like I have to take them on a story. It was then that I had to start writing. And then it's just been blossoming from there. And so when I hear your story, it lets me know that it's not never too late to I kind of feel sad, like, oh man, where could I be right now? Like if I would never let someone rip my dream out of my hands.
Yeah,
But it's okay. Like, right, we're always right on time for things. And just hearing your story, and I'm sure I'm not the only one out in the world that has experienced something like this. When you listen to all of the greats, someone had told them that they weren't good at what they did, but they
absolutely.
went on and became like masterful at their craft. It was
Hmm.
always someone who saw something that could have been jealousy, or maybe they just didn't see their point of view, their
Sure.
angle in which they were trying to describe what they were describing.
Oh gosh, Angela. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yep. All the time. You know, it is amazing how journaling, you talking about journaling, and I just started doing that last
Mhm.
April. I started it, and it's a day to day, every day, wake up with the mindset, and how much that has changed my life completely, because it sets my mind on what I'm going to be doing. Like I do it in the morning, so I write what I expect my day to unfold and what I want it to look like. And also have a 9-year-old grandson in the house with us, and he came in one day and saw my journal. I get to spend the day with, his name is Taos. I get to spend the
Mhm.
day with Taos because he was off for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And he's like, Grams, you're excited about spending the day with me. And I thought, I not express that enough, or was it just to see it written in the journal that made him
Mhm.
excited? But it's not only for me, but if it can touch someone else that way, like, man, that's well worth doing it. And it helped me to keep my mindset in the morning, like aligned with what I'm writing.
Mhm.
And it's a great reflection to go back and look, like you were talking about, like you have 30 years of journaling. That's a book. That is a book.
Yeah.
You have a book. You just need
Mhm.
to arrange it and put it together, and you've got your book.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me.
Mhm.
You probably wouldn't have had 30 years of journaling if you started writing your book whenever you wanted to start writing. I was like, whoa, 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 you're jumping the gun here.
Yeah.
Have your book. You've got it.
Mhm.
To me, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. It's in your hands already,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know, and it's journaling to me is an amazing, amazing tool of how we can align ourselves for our days and our mindsets, and um and it becomes real. As you write, you live it. You write, you live it. You write, you live it.
Mhm.
Go back, man. Those timelines are important. It's been taught to us for a very, very long time how you look back on generations and you say, okay, I want to make this generation, I want to make a difference in this generation because I've seen these stories from my past and what happened and how I became because of those stories. But now it's time for a new story. And it's time for this new generation to start pouring into a new hope, a new way, a new vision, a new purpose. And that's my whole purpose. Painting just happens to be an expression of how happy I am that I am pouring into another generation so that they don't have to go through depression, schizophrenia, pills, somebody saying you're too young, disability. No, man, don't take that road. Let me show you
Mhm.
from a very young age. Let's take
Mhm.
the road. And one day they'll have 30 years of a journal in their hands to make a book. And
Yes. Yeah.
awesome, man. Isn't that
Yeah.
great?
Yeah, I know. It's like you're very
I
encouraging.
you.
I'm like, hey, she's like, hi, welcome to Anita's podcast. You're awesome. I just love you. I just like when I saw, I was like, oh, she's probably like, I'm like, I'm gonna be a stalker. Can I have you on my podcast? Yes, that warms my heart, and your grandson seeing that because the journal really is the um private thoughts, the inner workings of our mind and our heart. And then so when someone sees it collected, like it's in a book, they know it's a journal.
Yeah.
So to read it was really your true thoughts. Because every day people tell us things, but is it
Uh-huh.
really true? But when you see it in our journal and it's written, you're
He
like,
believed
it's
it.
true.
He believed it. He's like,
It's true.
wow, yes,
He'll never
yes.
doubt your
Uh,
feelings again because
That's true.
it's truth. When
Mhm.
you are genuinely excited. And
Yes,
it's by him
yes,
seeing that connection. So that took his relationship with you to another level,
yes,
actually.
it did. Yeah, yes, it
The
did.
power of journaling. Yeah.
Yes.
We're not
Yeah.
saying you have to go share your journal with everyone, but it's just
No,
saying like the power that the words that you have, that and how real your expressions are when they come onto the paper. Um, it pours out. And so, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. But that's
Mm.
I can truly vouch for it. And I've tried it many times and I failed, but I think it was because I didn't understand the reason why I was journaling and the purpose behind it. And if you don't, well, if I don't have a purpose, then it goes by the wayside.
Yeah.
2 months later, it's going to be, I'm dusting it off like, oh yeah, I got this journal, But if it's is the purpose that I see for me is that it helps me keep track of time and it helps me schedule my goals so that I could actually see my dreams come true. That's all a goal is. It's a scheduled effort to make your dreams come true. But I've always thought of goals as something I have to do, a SMART goal. I can't even, it was just too much for me. And I would do it out of because I was supposed to do it at the beginning. Now I call it personal development. I call it personal development, and now I can relate to personal development, and I want to be better at certain things in my life. How can I do that? Okay, figure that out. Let's write some things on how I could do it. And I'm like, oh, these are goals. Oh,
Yes, yes. We need those intentions, to
intentions. Yes.
yeah, to work towards that. And it's beautiful. So you have coming up for you, you have the Miraculous series installation. Now you have the Levee that you did. And then
Yes.
you have anything else in the workings?
I am going this year at the end of the first quarter. I will have my second series done, and it's going to be called Spare the Children That Follow. And that is, of course, attacking generational impacts that have on our lives. And let's spare our children the difficulty that we went through. Let's spare them the poverty of mindset. Let's spare them the fear. You don't need that. That's not, that's not what the next generation of my children need. They need encouragement and uplifting and positivity and specificity, and they need to be encouraged to go out and try and ask and use their voice, which I was never given a voice growing up. That's another thing I didn't have. I did not have a voice. I raised my kids to have a voice, and boy, let me tell you, my children, both of them, are very outspoken and very I probably kind of tailored it a little bit, but I didn't. Gave them a voice. Speak your mind. And there's nothing more generous than a gift of voice that you could give someone to be able to speak. So these children will be able to speak, and then their children's children will learn that same thing. And then that's where the real wealth of investment comes in on the children's children. I won't be alive yet, but they'll feel me. They'll know, Grandma.
Yeah.
Grandma.
I can't wait to see that installation. That's gonna,
Yeah.
I can only imagine what you're gonna come up with. So I'm definitely gonna be peeking over your shoulder as you're going through that. Because, I understand, everyone basically have some type of generational trauma. We know people do try their best to raise children based on the skills they have. So, like Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. So you just try to keep progressively trying to make things better. So I understand where you're coming from. And so I'm just really excited for your next masterpieces that'll be coming out. So,
yeah, thank you. And I'm going to do here pretty soon too. So that'll be coming up this year also. But
congratulations. Yes. There'll be plenty of walls and buildings for you to scale. We gotta give you like a colorful cake when you're going up there, because you know what? You just deserve it. You just deserve it, right? One of your paintings, light, and airy, so it's not heavy, but it's a statement piece.
Yes, I think that. Thank you for that suggestion, because I'm going to do it. I'm going to take a picture and send it to you.
Yes, please. I'm like, yes, because you want to know why I wear the cape. You sit down, let me tell you the story. All right. So thank you. So in closing, I know that this is all really new for you. So where can people find you to check out your artwork? I love a piece. I believe it was called Anxiety. I want to say. I
Mhm,
love that one. I
mhm,
love
mhm.
that.
Thank
It's very beautiful. So how can people find you? They want to touch and feel and see and support.
Sure, sure. Of course, social media on Instagram, it's Anita Chaves Art. Facebook is Anita Chaves, and I will post my paintings along with the story that goes behind each painting. Um, and I live in Colorado Springs. A website is going up before the 28th of January. There will be a website complete with all my paintings on there. Um, you're welcome to come by anytime to my studio whenever you're in Colorado Springs and say hello. I would love
Yes.
to show you around and get you acquainted with up close because it makes such an impact when you see paintings in
Mhm.
person as opposed to online or photos. So yeah, I welcome anyone that would love to stop by and see these if you're coming through Colorado Springs. Give me a
Yes.
call.
Yes.
My email address is anitamchavez@gmail.com. You can contact me through there. And yeah, that's the website will be up soon.
Yes.
But
I'm gonna be following you. This is not the end of this
okay.
conversation. All right. So everyone knows at the end we always pick a journaling prompt card.
Mhm.
And then whatever comes to mind, we will share. So let's see.
Okay.
Must reads.
Must reads. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. There's two of them, but the one that really helped me with that negative chatter is the Chimp Paradox, and that
Mhm.
separate myself from thinking that I'm the voice inside my head that comes with this. Oh, you should have said this, and oh,
Mhm.
why you do that? It's like no, stop. And I'd be
Yes.
like, oh, that really taught me how to separate myself from that voice and also
Mhm.
speak to that voice to just like, hey, Chimp, calm down. You're back in that
Mhm.
cage right now. And I will tell you when we will address the feelings about whatever it is you want to talk about. Because now's not the time. I've got some stuff
Mhm.
to do. I got some,
Mhm.
children to pour into. I got some paintings to make. I've got a wall to harness myself on a rope. And it's like, I can't have that noise in my head.
Yeah.
And so I think that was a really big step for me when I read that book. Yes.
Mhm. Yes. Okay, nice. I read I wish I had it right beside me, but A Life I Swear by uh Chloe Dulce. Her last name is French. I have to look at the book to see. It's like Lerverno or something like that. But it
Okay.
is different essays of Black women just in different phases of life. Her opening is done by Elaine Welteroth, and it turned into a textbook for me. I underlined, and it's just a very beautiful read, and I've thoroughly enjoyed that book. I think you would love it.
What is the name again? If I'm going to write it because
It's
I
called
think,
Life I Swear.
okay,
I
because
have
I'm
it close. Let me see
thinking,
if I can jump up. Normally I don't jump
okay,
up, but
yeah,
let me
yeah,
jump
no,
up.
okay, yes, yes, please do. Because I was thinking my daughter may have just ordered that book.
Um, it's this right here.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
beautiful cover.
So
I love it.
if you're
Okay.
on YouTube, you can see I'm holding up her book, but it's just a very beautiful book,
Oh, that's
with
beautiful.
different essays
It's
in
beautiful.
it. It's just very, very lovely.
Okay.
Um,
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's intimate stories from Black women on identity, healing, and self-trust. Um,
Okay.
so that's a must read. I am a
Okay.
book junkie, so but
You
we'll be here
are.
all day if I was selling my books.
I'm just
My
learning
mom's
how
like, "Is
to.
that a book coming from Amazon?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
don't judge me."
Don't judge. It's a good thing. No, I'm
Yeah.
just getting into reading. So yeah, I'm starting now. Now I'm starting to keep track of my a reading list of what I'm learning. So it's a great way to gather knowledge and apply it. So yeah, totally cool.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Good.
Well, thank you so much for coming and being here with
Thank
me. This was
you.
a lovely, delightful conversation. I am sure whoever is pushing play and listening or watching us on
Mm.
Instagram or YouTube. They're just getting so much knowledge and the ability to see that it's never too late to start your dreams and to just move forward and just do the thing, right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. It's never, ever, ever too late, and never give up on your dream. Sometimes you don't even know what it is, and it presents itself, and then you're like, "Whoa, this was it." Yeah, so it's awesome. Take the journey. Take the journey, definitely.
Yeah. So on that note, that's what we'll end because
All right.
that's just the perfect way to end. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Please reach out, leave us comments, check out Anita Chaves art on Instagram if you're there. Definitely, definitely, if you want to see that wall that she scaled, you get to see it in a very variety of stages. So we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.